This course, Designing Web-Based Learning, is my 6th course of the Diploma of Educational Technology program from Cape Breton University. I was intrigued by the title of this course and wondered what the content may be and how that content may impact my practice. I have enjoyed all of the courses I have taken previous to this and was anticipating that I would enjoy this course as well. When I opened the course on Moodle, I was relieved to see that the layout was similar to all of the other courses I had taken. The course was divided into units with timeframes, there was an online discussion forum, and there were descriptions and rubrics for each assignment. One thing I did not like was that Unit 3 was hidden, but now that Unit 3 is complete, I completely understand why it was. I was very engaged during Unit 1 and really liked the information presented in the Intro to Web-Based Learning Design. I felt like I was on top of my game and engaged regularly in the discussion posts. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology and I really enjoyed revisiting theories of learning. I reviewed all of the assignments during this time and felt confident that I could accept the challenge. The one assignment I liked the idea of the most was the e-portfolio. I had already created 2 Google Sites for this diploma program, so I knew how to navigate throughout the process and was happy to create another one for this assignment. I had a few ideas of how I could present my artifacts and was looking forward to sharing my learning and knowledge with my peers. Unit 2 was also engaging as it discussed the importance of creating meaningful, motivating, and memorable context, which is something that was very relevant to me as a junior high teacher. Our teenagers today are always on their phones and engaged in social media, so the discussions in this unit were beneficial in determining how we can create context within their world. This unit also discussed the importance of ensuring we create challenge, activity, and feedback in our lesson designs. When I look back at activities I have created, I can see that I did incorporate these elements to a degree, but now they are at the forefront of my thinking during my planning, and I ensure that my activities fit the elements rather than trying to make the elements fit my activities. I will admit, while I was quite engaged on top of the discussion posts during Unit 1, I felt a bit of a lull during Unit 2. Unit 2 was happening as we were just starting off with our program planning at school, and the development of adaptations and IPPs was starting to get under full swing. This was always a very busy time for me, so my involvement in discussion posts ended up being quite minimal. I picked things back up in Unit 3. Our program planning was underway at school, so I was able to focus more time to coursework. There was a shift in Unit 3 to a more self- and peer-guided learning, and I really enjoyed the turn the course had taken. I became more engaged with discussions, contributing to a number of feeds by offering suggestions to others and looking for feedback. It was during this unit that we created our activity designs, and I was very engaged in this assignment. I chose to do my activity on Netiquette, and I was surprised to see how many of my classmates are interested in this topic as well. Netiquette is such an important topic for our 20th century digital world, and I feel that it is something we need to incorporate explicitly into our teaching. While I always look for feedback from my instructors to make sure I am on the right page, receiving feedback from my peers during this unit held just as much weight, as I knew we were all teachers with a multitude of experiences and backgrounds. I also enjoyed giving feedback to others when it related to things that have worked for me in my teaching and learning experiences. I looked forward to receiving feedback on my activity design from my peers. No matter how good we think a lesson is, there is always ways to make it better, cleaner, or more clear-cut. Having peers provide this feedback was very meaningful, and their feedback also provided me with alternative resources and activities to add to my lesson, for which I was grateful for. It was this unit that led me to my 3rd portfolio entry, Tools for Teachers. So many of my classmates were posting amazing resources they have used, and I thought it would be a great idea to collect these resources into one single document for anyone to access. I decided to create a simple Venn diagram of resources that can be used to assist or supplement student learning. During this unit, there was a discussion of massive open online courses, which was something I had never heard of before. When it was discussed that MOOCs could have over 5,000 students enrolled, I felt this would be completely overwhelming as a student in terms of keeping up with peer postings. That being said, on a much smaller scale, I felt that I would truly enjoy a course like this. Interestingly enough, during Unit 4, I read an article that spoke about SPOCs, which are small private online courses, which supported my feelings on how online courses can be very useful and beneficial on a smaller scale. While I did not really see the benefit of MOOCs for most students enrolled, I can see that SPOCs, much like this course, can be very beneficial for learning and engagement. Unit 4 was all about facilitation and evaluation. I liked this unit because it spoke to things I hadn't consciously thought of before. I enjoyed the article by Redmond, in particular the teaching presence categories and indicator table she included. While I don't anticipate being an online instructor in my future, this table provides some guidelines I can use in my face-to-face teaching. It was during these last 2 units that I saw a connection between web-based learning and inquiry-based learning, as the instructor in online learning takes a step back to allow for students to be more engaged in discussions with peers and actively look for information or solutions to problems. I can see the parallel with how we encourage inquiry-based learning in the classroom. It was during this last unit that I saw a shift in what I value as a teacher. I had always been more of a behaviorist at heart, but I now see the benefits of incorporating more constructivist methods and allowing learners to build their own knowledge. While I will not completely discount behaviorist and direct teaching methods, I do see myself stepping back a bit to allow for more student-led learning. Creating this Pecha Kucha assignment was one of our final assignments, and while I often do not enjoy reflecting on my work, I did enjoy this one. I had never created a presentation like this before, and I enjoyed the challenge. It was nice to go look back at all of the units and discussions we had and see how my thinking had shifted throughout the course. While I enjoyed creating this presentation, it was not without challenge. I have created PowerPoints with VoiceOver in the past, but did not have the challenge of limiting my slides to 20 seconds, which was a greater challenge than I had anticipated. I also struggled to find appropriate images for my slides, and it took some creative thinking to find key search words. I now have one assignment left to complete, and while I have enjoyed this course, I look forward to some downtime as the holiday season approaches. I would like to thank Dr. O'Neill for some great facilitating and providing me the opportunity to learn and grow as a teacher. I have definitely adopted some new ways of thinking, which I will carry forward with me through my career.